Hi everyone, this is Mr. Ermani along with Mrs. Zaglinishki. We're your Richards Middle School counselors and we're here today to talk to you about scheduling for your 8th grade classes. Throughout the course of this podcast, we're going to be talking to you about not only filling out the registration forms and health forms, but about the classes that will be available to you and the key dates that you're going to want to remember. Okay, registration will involve 3 steps. Today we're going to be filling out the registration and health forms. We need you to bring these forms home, get them signed by your parents, and bring them back to your social studies teachers by Wednesday, February 18th. You can have them early, but make sure it's no later than Wednesday, February 18th. So that'll give you some time to think about your selections. The third step is on February 19th or February 20th, depending on what team you're on. We're going to be coming into your social studies classes and we're going to help you enter your selections. Now, if you're on Team Pride and the Dream Team, we'll be coming in on February 19th. If you're on Team Stars, we'll be coming in on the 20th. And as I said, we'll help you enter your selections into PowerSchool. So you're going to need to have your iPad, and it should be charged, of course. And you're also going to need your PowerSchool user ID and password.
Please follow along and do not work ahead. What you should have in front of you is your health form. That is the long sheet, your 8th grade registration form. The program of study is online. We did not print those this year. So if you'd like to look at the class selections, they are online under program of study, and you need a pencil in front of you. We are going to get started. Please have the health form in front of you at this time. At this time, we will be asking teachers to pause the podcast at certain times throughout this informational podcast. It will take only a few minutes for the students to write down the information on their registration form. Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Zaglinichny, and we're going to talk about the health form. So right now in front of you is the long sheet of paper that says 8th grade student information. This form here is probably the most important form that we receive from all of you. Right now in the middle of this form, you should see a sticker right underneath where it says telephone and birth date. That sticker should have all your information, your name, your address, your phone numbers, everything like that. What I need you to do is I need you to take a look at that sticker. If there is anything incorrect on that sticker, I'd like you to correct it in the top part of this form. Only the things that are incorrect. So if they have like possibly your address or possibly you've moved and we don't have your new address, please put that and add that to the top of this form, okay? Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take a look at the bottom of this form. This is a health form. This is very important to us. This is what tells us if you need an inhaler, if you have asthma, okay? Or possibly you have some other type of condition. This is to be filled out by your parents, not by you. Again, this is to be filled out by your parents. So you are going to be taking this home tonight and you're going to have your parents complete this. Now, what I've said to you in the past is, even if you had asthma back in 2nd or 3rd grade and you have not had an asthma attack, I still want your parents to mark yes on this, okay? You never know. It could flare up. You know, we never know. And we always like to know if you've had a certain type of condition, just in case, just for us to be aware if we ever need to get you some type of help. If you notice at the bottom, the last one on there says other. This is important. There might not be something that you have. You might have some type of medical condition that is, rare. So I still want you to add that at the bottom. Have your parents add anything that might not be on this list, okay? It's not just for this list. It's anything else that might be of concern to us. Remember that everything on this form is confidential. That means it stays within the staff of our building. What happens with this form is that our secretary actually gets all these forms and she makes a list. And at the beginning of every school year, our teachers are given a list of everyone that has some type of health condition. So what happens on like the week before school starts, once the teachers have all their class lists, they then will look at our health condition form, and they will start highlighting their students and making notes of what their condition are. Do they need an inhaler? Do they need to go to the office for medication? Are they a diabetic? Maybe they need to test their blood sugar. Things like that, so then that way they're aware if you need to leave the class, or if you have a certain type of condition that you need and go, like with diabetics, they need to go and check their blood a couple times a day. Well, you know what? The teacher will say, not a problem, go ahead. So this is very important for us to have this information. But like I said before, make sure your parents fill this out. And if you notice at the bottom, it says parent signature. This is very important. We need your parent's signature there to say, yes, this is all correct, and that we verify that this is the correct information. We need your parent's signature. Now, we will not accept your schedule without this health form signed. So we need both this health form and your 8th grade schedule signed by both parents for us to collect them. Okay, right now, I'm going to pass this over to Mr. Amani and get started with you scheduling for your 8th grade schedule.
Okay, everyone should have the registration form in front of them. The first thing I want you to do is, in the upper left corner of the form, I want you to write Feb 18th. This is when the form is due back, along with your health form. So I want you to put that at the top of the form to remind you. Then I want you to fill in your name in the appropriate area up here, and you're actually going to fill in all this information. You put your last name first, then your first name, then your middle initial, and put a phone number that we can reach your parents. Okay, that can be their home landline number or their cell phone number. This phone number is not your personal cell phone. We want a phone number where we can reach your parent. Okay, so I'm going to allow the teachers now to pause this podcast while you accomplish that. It shouldn't take more than 45 seconds. Thanks. Now, like last year, everyone's going to need to take your core academic classes, social studies, language arts, math, and science, and you're also going to have a silent reading. I know some of you currently have maybe a Read 180 or a corrective math or a silent math. At this point, we're not going to worry about any of that. You may or may not have those classes next year. So I want everyone right now, where it says social studies, language arts, math, science, and silent reading, I want you to circle these numbers next to the class. So just circle all of those. That'll come in handy when we go to input these into PowerSchool. Now you're going to see that this form is, the bottom part or the last half of the form is split into two sides. There's the side that the non-music students fill out. Non-music students are students, obviously, that aren't going to have a full year of band or choir. The music students, the other side of the form, is for those students who will take either band or choir for a full year. So we're going to start with the non-music students, those students that are not going to take band or choir for a full year. If you're going to take choir for a half a year, you would also fill out this left side of the form, the non-music students side of the form. So for all of you music students right now, just sit patiently, and Mrs. Zag will be describing how to fill out the right side of the form. Okay, so right now, all of you non-music students, we're going to be filling out this left side of the form right here. And the first decision you really have to make is whether you want a foreign language class or not. These classes they last a full year. They're going to take up one spot in your schedule for a full year. The good news is you can get a high school credit if you complete them successfully. And remember, all of you students will have to take 2 credits of foreign language by the time you graduate. So this is a great opportunity to start, completing some of those credits. Now, you can only take one of those classes, so you would have to decide, if you are going to take a foreign language, whether you want French, German, or Spanish. Now, for the next section, everyone's going to have computer lit and career exploration. So I want everyone to circle that. Now, whether you have phys ed or not will depend on whether you selected a foreign language or not. If you did select a foreign language class, then boys or girls phys ed will become optional. If you did not take a foreign language class, then you must circle either boys or girls phys ed. Okay, again, we're just talking to the non-music students at this point. Okay, we're going to move on to the next part of the form, which would be the exploratory classes. Let me first say about these classes, they're all 20 weeks long. In 7th grade, these classes were only 10 weeks. So in 8th grade, they're a little bit longer. They last a full semester, so you will have less of them. Let me describe them first, just very briefly, and then I'll tell you how many that you'll have to choose from. First, applied tech, you're again going to be applying science concepts like energy, motion, and gravity to practical problems and practical projects. You're going to learn about measurement and pattern development, and then you'll be doing using the equipment and learning about the equipment and creating some projects, mostly out of wood. Drafting is a way of drawing or sketching an object or a building that accurately represents that thing you're trying to draw. For example, every product or building has a blueprint that's been created for it, and a lot of architects and engineers and designers do this type of drawing. If you've ever seen a blueprint, you know what type of drawing that you'll be learning in drafting. And there's certain tools that you use to complete those types of drawings. So that's a class that was not available to you in 7th grade. So that's a new offering for you for 8th grade that you didn't have available to you. Life skills involves food and nutrition for 10 weeks, and you'll again learn how to prepare foods in a healthy and sanitary way. You'll learn about what a healthy diet consists of. And the second 10 weeks of the life skills class is going to involve clothing construction, sewing. You might learn a little bit about the history of fashion or the current trends in fashion. Art, you're going to be doing things such as drawing, painting, working with clay, possibly weaving, paper mache, and projects like that. And there could be some other things as well. Chorus, there is you're able to take chorus for a half a year if you choose to do that. Again, it could fall, the first half of the year, it may fall the second half, but you do have that half a year choir option available to you. Now, the number of these exploratory classes that you're going to get will depend on whether or not you took a foreign language or not. Here are the choices, so please listen carefully. If you took a foreign language class and you're not going to take a phys ed class, so you're taking a foreign language, one of the 3, French, German, or Spanish, and you're not going to take either boys or girls phys ed, then you're going to get one of these exploratory classes. Okay? If you took a foreign language class and you took boys or girls phys ed, you're not going to get any of these exploratory classes down here. Okay? If you're not taking a foreign language class, you have to take computer lit and career. Everybody has to take that. And you have to take either boys or girls phys ed, and you'll get 2 of these exploratory classes. So what I want you to do is, whatever situation applies to you, if you get one or two selections down here, I want you to circle them, your top two choices, and then give us an alternate selection. That means an alternate would be if we can't get you into your first two selections, or first selection, as the case may be, we'll try to get you into your alternate class. I want you to indicate your alternate class by putting an A on one of the lines next to that class. Okay, and that'll again help us out when it comes time to enter these selections into PowerSchool. Okay, Mrs. Zag will now explain to the music students how to fill out the right side of the form.
Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Zaglinitchny again. Okay, apparently we are going to be scheduling our music students now. So, all non-music students, your pencil should be down, and my band and choir students, your pencil should be in your hand. Okay, this is real simple. The magic number here is 80. So, if you are a band student and you are going to be taking full year band again next year, you just put a check there or circle the numbers, okay, whichever you prefer, okay? If you are a band and choir student, you check off choir as well and circle those numbers as well, okay? If you take a look, 40 plus 40 is 80 weeks. You are now done scheduling. We're going to erase these. All right, and we're going to go back and we're going to say, okay, now I am a full year band student, so I'm going to circle those numbers. And I'm not a full year choir student, but I do want to take a foreign language. Now, what we are requiring now is if you are going to take a foreign language next year, you have to have a C or better in your language arts class this year to schedule for French, German, or Spanish. So let's say, okay, yes, I'm a band student. Yes, I have a C or better in my English class, and so I want to take a foreign language. I'm going to decide any one of these three. I'm going to decide German, and I'm going to circle those numbers. Okay, again, 40 plus 40, I am now done scheduling. So if you are a student that is taking a full year band class and want to take a foreign language class, you are now done scheduling. All right, let's say I am a full year choir student. I will check off choir, circle that. I now do not want a foreign language, and that is your choice, okay? So I now have to decide, okay, I must now take computers for 20 weeks. I'm going to check that off and circle it, okay? And I get to choose one of the classes down here, any one of them for 20 weeks, okay? Normally it is required to take a phys ed class. However, since you are taking a full year class, meaning a 40-week class, and the other required class, which is computers and careers, you get to choose whichever class you would like down in this section here, in the exploratory classes. So, I have choir for 40 weeks. I have computer lit for 20 weeks. I get to choose whatever I like. You know what? I really liked life skills, so I'm going to put a 1 there, and I'm going to circle it, okay? What I'd also like you to do is I'd like you to put a 2 and a 3 here for your second and third choice. Most likely, you will get life skills, but just in case, we want to know what else you want. So I'm a girl, so I'm going to say, you know what? I want gym second, circle that, and I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take applied tech for third. So there we go. Now I'm done scheduling, okay? If you add it up, I have 40 weeks for choir, 20 weeks for computer lit, which is 60, and 20 weeks for life skills, which is another 20, which equals to 80 weeks. My second and third is just on there as a alternate classes, okay? So basically what you're going to do, if you are a band and choir student, you're going to choose one of those. You then go down to foreign language to see if you want to take a foreign language class. If not, you must take computers and careers and then one other class down in the exploratory. So if you have any questions, by all means, you can email either me or Mr. Ermani with any questions you might have about your schedule. Or you can ask your teacher. They have been through this many times. They can help you schedule this. The one thing you need to know is in 8th grade, all the electives are now 20 weeks, the exploratory classes. No longer 10-week classes like you have now. So make sure that you definitely have that magic number of 80 weeks. At the bottom, you see parent signature, you see student signature. As soon as you are done completing this, whether you are a band student, band or choir student, or if you're not, I want to see your signature. So, and that means in your handwriting. So I'm just going to write Mrs. Zag, okay? As if I'm the student. Then you are going to take this home and you are going to actually get it signed by your parents, okay? Right here. Your parents need to sign this at the bottom. Only on one side. Doesn't matter as long as we have a signature. We need your signature for both this, your registration, and your health form. We would like you to send around a stapler right now so you can staple these two pieces of paper together because we are going to collect them together. Now remember, as soon as you get this back, I want you to take it home tonight. I want you to actually have your parents take a look at it. As soon as they sign it, that gives us the okay that they said, yes, what you have chosen for next year is correct. They are going to sign it. You're going to bring it back and you are going to give it to your social studies teacher. This teacher will hold it until we put it into the computer. So it is your best interest to return it. Then they can keep it for safekeeping so you don't forget it the day we register. Because if you do not have it, we will not allow you to input your schedule. And remember, if you don't have both the signatures and your papers, then everyone else gets their choices before you get yours. So it's very important you take this home. Parents look at both this registration form and the health form, and you return it the next day. Thanks so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.